Take Resident Evil and replace all the zombies with dinosaurs, and you get Dino Crisis. Replace all the zombies with demons, and what do you get? Well, you get what was intended to be another spin-off mutating into a brand new IP. And that IP is Onimusha. Onimusha takes place during the Sengoku period, following the death of Oda Nobunaga. But Nobunaga has now been resurrected and he's a servant of the underworld, leading an army of demons to perform a dark ritual. And to do so, he kidnaps the pure of heart princess Yuki, and he plans to use her skull as a grail to drink her noble blood. So it's up to our samurai protagonist, Samanosuke, and his ninja sidekick, Kaede, to save Yuki and fight back against the demons.
Samanosuke.
Onimusha retains a lot of familiar elements from Resident Evil, from the dynamic camera angles to the tricky-dicky puzzles, and all the great horror and atmosphere that we're accustomed to, which only continues to ramp up and get cooler as you go deeper into the castle. Now what's different here is, aside from the obvious setting, is the fun as hell hack and slash combat. You have a range of weapons to play with, 3 swords with different elemental powers, lightning, fire, and wind, allowing you to unleash some really cool, powerful attacks. Now this isn't like Devil May Cry where you're doing insane, hyper stylish combos and juggling your enemies in the air, but that's not a bad thing. What's great is that each weapon will come in handy for different situations, so you'll be rotating them out against certain enemies, while the special moves will drain your magic gauge. But another thing I like is that each one has their own gauge, meaning when you run out of juice, you can simply swap it out. While you're slaying demons, you'll be absorbing their souls into your gauntlet. Red can be used for upgrading equipment, blue recovering your magic, and yellow recovering your health. Now these souls don't remain on the battlefield, so it's actually a really fun balancing act of defending yourself while trying to absorb as many as you can. As for the equipment you'll be upgrading in Onimusha, first and foremost are your swords, which become more beastly in performance and also in appearance. Additionally, you have 3 elemental orbs in your gauntlet, which are mandatory because these will unlock all the demonic seals found throughout the castle. And one last thing is your vitality and magic meters. Now the level design in Onimusha is still fantastic, providing a really fun gameplay loop around the castle. Even when I was retrekking through some familiar territory, it never felt repetitive because the game kept throwing new situations my way. When you go back to an old room, a new group of enemies will spawn, and it'll often mix up the enemy types. Occasionally you'll also see some humans fighting the demons, and if you help them out, they'll give you some nice herbs or some ammunition. The areas you'll explore have really cool passageways and secrets to uncover, and a variety of puzzles to solve. The puzzles I really liked were the unique events that occur, forcing cooperation between the 2 playable characters. And unfortunately, there's not too many of these, but they are really damn cool. Speaking of which, the other playable character, Samanosuke's ninja sidekick, has her own unique gameplay. She has a Tanto dagger and a limited number of kunai. The biggest difference though is she cannot consume souls or perform any special attacks. And she can only heal herself with herbs and medicine. Now this does add a little bit of nice tension when you're playing as her, but overall, gameplay-wise, she's not as fun as Samanosuke. However, I did enjoy what her sections bring to the storytelling.
サマノスケ、どうなってるの？サマノスケ。
閉じ込められたみたいだ。
どこか出られそうなところはない？サマノスケ、待ってて、すぐ助けるわ。
And I won't go into spoilers, but the storytelling here is really good. And the same goes for the acting. At least the Japanese audio. Now, unlike many people, I don't find things to be cheesy all that often, unless it's really cheesy. But the English voices here are pretty cheesy. So unless you like that sort of thing, stick with the Japanese.
We will give you our powers. We are the clan of ogres that has been subverted by the demons.
The controls here are pretty solid, and that's one of the few changes found in the remaster. The remaster features dual analog support, and it's a nice addition to have, but given how the game uses those old director camera angles, which by the way, I absolutely love. In fact, I want some new games to bring these back. But having said that, it does get in the way of the analog controls. Occasionally, it'll throw your direction off when the screen changes. Therefore, I found myself sticking to the trusty D-pad for general movement. One last thing that would go on to become a staple in the series is the Dark Realm. Now this is a ladder-like arena with 20 stages to climb that pit you against different enemy combinations and reward you with a number of items. If you manage to clear all 20 floors, you'll get a special ocarina that unlocks the most powerful sword in the game. The analog support actually works great here for a nice quick way to turn around, and even makes it easier than it was on PS2. Just give it a flick and continue slaying those demon pricks. So overall, the first Onimusha holds up, and I do absolutely adore this game. It's actually one of my favorite Capcom series, and Capcom horror games for that matter. While this is more along the lines of horror action, it's fantastic action with some killer atmosphere. I'm also big into the Japanese folklore and all the cool demons or yokai littered throughout, so having a game meshing the two together, well, it doesn't get much better than that. I have it both on Switch and PC, and it looks and plays great either way. And frankly, I think the old PS2 and Xbox version still hold up rather well too. I think these games are so stylish that you can't go wrong no matter what. It's a must-play game in my book, and if you haven't, go play Onimusha and have some fun sending these demons back to hell.